Booker T, 5-time WCW champion.
Hey, this is Jeff Jarrett.
This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
Yo, it's me, DDP.
This is Nigel McGuinness.
This is Hall of Famer Ron Simmons.
Hey, this is the franchise Shane Douglas.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
This is ROH wrestler Adam Cole.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns.
What's up, bro? This is Impact Wrestling superstar Robbie E.
Hey, what's up? It's the ODB.
Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. And
you're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug. And we welcome you to episode 212.
Whoa, man.
212.
Whoa.
The official, I wrote that down wrong. 212 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Please follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow Daniel at WNS_Daniel and Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
There you go. Welcome to the show. Got quite a bit to talk about this week. Burning that late night oil this week because we have exciting news. It's really cool, really exciting. I'm pretty pumped up to talk about it. We have been approached by one of my bosses to create a new show, which is going to be featured here on our local sports station, Sports Radio Beaumont, which is really cool, really excited. So if you're listening to the show and would like to give us a little bit of extra support, we would highly appreciate it. We would greatly appreciate it if you would mind going to the Facebook page, Sports Radio Beaumont 1450/1510. Give it a like. Let them know that you're here for the WNS. And if you want to tune in, you can download the free Sports Radio Beaumont app on your smartphone device. So really cool stuff. So give it a download and give us a chance, if you will.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you would be listening to this if you have zero interest in listening to that, but I guess that's possible. I guess we've been doing this show for over 4 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we don't ask you guys for money. I don't think we've never asked for a dime. Mm-hmm. Occasionally, we will ask that you try to help us out in other ways, and I guess this is a way that we're asking people to help us out.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like we're forcing you to go like shit if you don't want to like it or whatever. But
right.
It would, if you
mean a lot.
It would help. It would be helpful to us if we are able to establish that we have some sort of audience already. So if you could do that, it'd be awesome.
That would be great.
We're still going to be providing you with the same podcast every week, still for free. We're just going to be doing that additionally. And
if you want additional content,
sure. We are gonna find ways to vary up the content between the shows because if you'd like to listen to both, because even if you don't live in our immediate area, like Daniel said, there's an app where you can listen to us on the app from wherever you are in the world, I assume, and so
should be able to.
Yeah, so we're gonna be varying up the content. Some things might get switched from this show to that show. Some things might get added to this show that aren't going to be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have any ideas, obviously we're not making any promises, but we'd love to hear any ideas that you guys have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Any and all feedback is greatly welcome.
Sure. So for instance, we've talked about Total Divas may move to the radio show, and we might start talking Ring of Honor on the podcast. Things like that. So we are going to vary the content. So if people do care enough to listen to both, they're not listening to the same show twice.
Right.
So
give you a reason to tune in.
Sure. So so any help like that you could give us, we greatly appreciate. Download the app. Go say, hey, we have interest in hearing the show on the station.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it helps make us look good.
Sure. I mean, I don't want to feel like we're forcing people to do anything or making people lie or anything. But I mean, anything you can do to help us out, we would appreciate it. we're going to continue to give you this show every week for free. And that's just the way that you could help us out.
That's right. So yeah, really exciting times. Looking forward to what's ahead. Welcome to the show. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You hanging in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From that high, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, man. I don't. I'm just gonna say it though, but my cat passed away today.
Yeah.
So
really sad. But
yeah, I got the crying out of my system. Because I'm the one who found her.
Mm-hmm.
But
never easy.
She had a great life. She lived for 15 years. She never showed any problems or anything.
She was never pissed.
She was getting older.
She was never pissed.
I would always hold her like a baby, and I would say, "Are you pissed, pussy?" I would say it to her face, and she would go back because the air
her eyes.
in her face. I know it sounds cruel, but I was joking with her though. But she loved me. I loved her. Always pet her. She would always follow me around and stuff and meow. And you could tell she's getting older, a little thinner and everything. But she didn't show any signs of she had something wrong with her. This morning, she every morning I take my vitamins, eat and all that stuff and getting stuff ready. She'll always come rub against my leg and stuff and meow and talk to me and all that stuff. And she did that this morning. And
peace.
Peaceful. Rest in peace, Kiki. So, but time heals all wounds.
That's right.
So
pour one out.
Yeah.
Pour one out in loving memory. The show is dedicated to the memory of Tyler's cat.
That's right.
What kind of vitamins you taking, dog?
Do what?
Flintstone chewables?
No. I should have.
We are
Those things are good
kids.
though. They're these
10 million strong and growing.
They're actually for adults and stuff, but they're these gummy vitamins and stuff too. So, but they're pretty cool.
What brand?
I can't think of it.
What flavor?
Vita something. They're Vita something. I forgot the name of it.
I should take some vitamins.
They're really help you and all that stuff.
I need to.
You feel better?
Yeah.
I need to A, start taking vitamins, B, start working out, and C, stop eating so much fried fast food.
Man, fast food
and
is a
D,
weakness.
Start going to Jumping World more often.
Oh my gosh.
How fun was that?
Exercise in itself.
Yeah. That was a good time.
I'm taking my niece tomorrow night.
Yeah.
To a place where there's a lot of trampolines. Not like separate trampolines, they're all integrated with each other, and it's it's pretty cool.
Yeah. The foam pit was pretty cool too. I want to check that out next time. So welcome to the show. Got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to dive into your feedback. First bit of feedback we have is from Joe saying about the part where you mentioned rooting for Reigns last year because, quote, Batista was the favorite. Why was Batista the favorite? Because lame-ass wrestling fans read dirt sheets and baseless rumors spread by Meltzer? That's the root of any of these problems these fans complain about. You read the ending of the story online and bitch and moan when the ending sucks and isn't suspenseful. Boo Reigns and Batista because they're shit on a hot tin roof. Cheer Rusev, Bryan, or Ambrose because they deserve that match.
Well, for it to be baseless, it would have to have no roots in truth, which it clearly turned out to have root in truth because Batista did win the Rumble, so that was their plans. And
with Roman.
Yeah, and for it to be a rumor, I mean, it stopped being a rumor when it was confirmed by the act of Batista and then Roman winning the Royal Rumble. That's when it stopped being a rumor. So it was neither baseless nor a rumor, and certainly not a baseless rumor. I mean, your larger point about taking the suspense and surprise out of wrestling by reading things on the internet, that's a fair point on your part, and it's somewhat true. I personally care less about knowing the end than it's less about being surprised at the end for me and more about the journey being good getting there, because when I see a movie, I usually know the good guy's walking out on top at the end. I don't need anyone to tell me that. I don't need to read a spoiler to tell me that. But if the movie is a good journey getting me there, then, I'm going to be, fine with the movie, even though I saw the outcome coming. I think it's not apples to apples with pro wrestling that way, but generally speaking, if you're fine with the journey, then it's less about being surprised at the finish.
Right.
Now, this is not just a problem with pro wrestling. This is the way that our culture in general is these days. This happens with video games. This happens with movies. This happens with books. This happens with comic books. This is all fandoms. And so to a certain extent, you can say yes, like reading so much about the process, yes, reading spoilers, yes, having a good idea about what's coming, reading rumors hampers your enjoyment of the product. But the reality is this is our culture now, and there is no going back from it. Mm-hmm. It's here and it's here to stay. So you can blame that as much as you'd like, but it's up to these companies to find a way to work around that. It's up to these companies to do good in spite of that. Like, you can only put so much on the fans. They have to accept their own problems and their own shortcomings. So I agree with you to a certain extent, not wholeheartedly. I don't get the shitting on Meltzer thing. He's a legitimate journalist. He's like a guy who double sources shit. He's just not making up stupid rumors. In fact, they aren't rumors because they played out to be true. Yeah, other than that, I agree to a certain extent, but not wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the feedback, Joe. Next bit we have is from Bazooka Majin in relation to...
That's a good name.
Yeah, in relation to what would we give Natalia as far as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, shit, I forgot about this.
Yeah, saying mid-age mutant feline natty with her name being Natalangelo.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
Is Bazooka our only entrant?
Yes.
He's the winner, clearly.
He's the winner.
Yes.
So congratulations, Bazooka.
He or she, we don't know. We don't know.
You are this week's winner. You get bragging rights for a week.
Bragging rights, man.
Congratulations.
I get the feeling that like he or she is like Real Man's Man Parker all over again with Bazooka Majin. It's like, I'm a fucking man.
That's right. So
it may be very well be a woman.
But
we don't know. Thanks,
one,
Bazooka.
thanks for listening. Two, thanks for contributing because you were the only one who did as far as that goes. So we certainly do appreciate it. Next bit we have is from Jonathan Red Robin. Saying, "Oh, brother Daniel, testify." So as far as
what are you testifying
from my preaching moment?
Oh, we
from
did.
Last week.
We did.
So good stuff.
Good looking out.
No, excuse me. I'm clearly in the way. So yeah. Thanks, Jonathan. Next bit of feedback we have is from Seth Rickson saying, "Good show. You hit all the main points that people make. The bottom line is, if your main face has a 30% cheer rate and the guy you want to push as your next big face has that type of fan reaction, something is wrong. They had booked stories leading up to the Rumble for Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, Ryback, Rowan, all for them to be dumped out of the ring like trash. Also, you ended with Big Show and Kane in the ring, which have zero menace anymore. If they wanted Reigns to win and have any chance of getting over as a face, they needed to have Daniel Bryan go to near the end and look strong. It would have been Daniel Bryan and Reigns versus Kane, Big Show, and Rusev, and have them eliminated right before Reigns wins, and have Daniel Bryan shake his hand and raise it at the end. And even that would have probably been a mixed reaction. They knew the booking was horse crap and went with it anyway, and thought people would be distracted by The Rock. Bottom line, if you know your booking is horse crap, why book it that way?"
Fair enough. Good point. I mean, I feel like Seth is in alignment with what we said last week. So
right.
I feel like he's agreeing with us, and then venting on his own as well.
Yeah.
But thanks, Seth.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next bit of feedback we have is from Parker saying, "I thought the Rumble was pretty disappointing."
Real Man's Man, Parker?
Real Man's Man. Saying, "I thought..."
The man.
Such a man. Anyway, saying, "I thought the Rumble was pretty disappointing, and I think Reigns needs heavy-duty mic training or a manager before he becomes champ. Oh, and congrats, Tyler, on the twins."
Thank you, Parker.
It was...
I like how you're taking congrats like they're yours, like you're
they're my babies.
Father of these
they're
babies.
my babies.
Or congrats on becoming an uncle times two.
Uncle times two.
Yeah, so there you go. So thank you very much. Last bit of feedback we have is from Jaron saying, "Good podcast." So thanks for listening.
Thanks, Jaron. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Jaron.
Certainly appreciate that. So let's dive on into Raw. This was, I thought it was a pretty good show. It had a very long opening segment with the Authority and...
Oh, sorry. I want to tell you something. I went over to my grandparents yesterday, and I happened to watch, I watched all of Raw, but I watched half of it with him.
Mm-hmm.
And what's so funny, because I guess he don't really watch, he watches wrestling, but he don't watch WWE that much.
Yeah.
And he watches Ring of Honor.
That's cool.
But what's so funny is throughout the whole time we're watching the segment, he's like, when is wrestling going to start? It's like, And he was like, I'm not used to them talking this much. And so that was quite common.
She'd be like, Grandpa, I got 3 hours to fill. That's a lot. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to cover, and they do the best they can. But I mean, my goodness, this segment went 25 minutes if you include the commercial break that happened in between. It's just so long, and they had an announcement that was supposed to shake the WWE down to its very core, and I feel like it was a little flat. I don't know if they actually made the announcement or if whenever Triple H just said, all right, forget the whole thing, let's just do this, and like changed it on a fly kind of thing.
He kind of sounded like he did a little bit, but
it's like instead of making this huge announcement, let's just set up this scenario between Reigns, Rollins, and Bryan. So I don't know. It was very strange. A 25-minute segment to kick things off, and basically all they did was goad all three men to want to fight for the title, and Reigns saying,
I felt like that, if I'm really thinking about the situation, if you're really into it and you think about it, it would suck for like, hey man, Reigns has to defend his spot,
contendership.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But being the part of the fan that I am, and how the crowd is too, they kind of don't care about Roman. This situation, they want Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it both ways.
I mean, you see the reaction that Bryan gets as opposed to
for sure,
to Reigns.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's nuts. But they did say that Reigns was going to be facing the winner of Rollins or Bryan for the main event that night to go on to face Reigns for the #1 contendership at Fastlane. So, but they did give Roman a match with Big Show. What a fresh matchup we haven't seen before. Outcome was quite different this time around. Big Show actually gets the win over Reigns, and I saw a stat that says this is Reigns' first singles loss, like since the split of the Shield.
His first pinfall loss. I think he's been on the recipient.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, like DQ, or he's been pinned in a tag match or something like that. But as far as singles pinning loss, this is his first.
It's very unceremonious loss too.
Yeah,
just sort of like a. Thrown out there. It's weird, man. I don't know. I want to jump back just a little bit, talk about the opening a little bit. I felt like, I think it depends on your opinion of where the booking is going. I guess if you like this or not. I think if you look at it strictly from the booking standpoint, it's like shitty, lazy booking in the sense that all the guys that put in this match have no legitimate claim to be in this match other than Roman. Like Bryan was eliminated from the Rumble fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth ate the pinfall and the title loss in the title match. So neither of these guys have legitimate claims to this. I guess they're we see a little later in a backstage segment that they sort of orchestrated this and not having the power to pull it off, sort of trying to manipulate Roman into, putting it
up for grabs.
Yeah, putting it up for
hoping
grabs.
That Rollins would be victorious.
Hoping that their guy would come in. But I thought that...
Well, the one argument that Bryan had for it was, hey, man, I was the champion, and I got stripped of the title. I never got a rematch for my title.
Sure, but they made him look like a putz and completely shut him down by saying, well, then you shouldn't have entered yourself in the Rumble and lost it fair and square. Why wouldn't you just wait till after the Rumble to come back or whatever? Which is, which is sort of like a sarcastic response to their booking. But the thing about this is I felt like they did a pretty good job of making Roman feel sympathetic in this opening segment. They did a pretty good job of babyface him. There were actual audible boos for Bryan, Bryan's challenge to him. People, it was not a large segment of the crowd, but there was audible boos for Bryan. The crowd seemed to where were they? Denver, Colorado?
Somewhere around there.
They seem to be into Roman. Not overwhelmingly into Roman, but more supportive of Roman than a lot of cities that we have seen. Mm-hmm. But I felt like they did a good job of making Roman feel sympathetic because, to me, and I'm a huge Bryan fan, as anyone who's listened to this for any length of time knows, Bryan came off sort of trying to weasel his way into this match. He sort of came off not great. Not like a good underdog babyface that I would like to see him presented as. It's fine for Rollins to weasel his way in as the authorities guy and just to be an asshole in general. But Bryan did not come off well in this segment, and Roman did come off pretty well. I think it was sort of orchestrated to make Bryan come off as unlikable and to get people to feel sympathy for Roman. At least from my standpoint, they accomplished that in this segment. There's another segment later on, which I sort of feel like flips the tables, which I don't know if that's them keeping their options open and they haven't decided where they're going after Fastlane, or, just to make you feel like, you don't know, maybe they are going to go with Bryan.
Nobody knows. They're tossing it up in the air. But yeah, so
I think they know. I think they want us to not know.
Right. So so we got to see Big Show going up against Reigns. How'd you feel about the matchup?
The match was sort of just there. These guys have wrestled each other a lot as of late. They're probably going to wrestle each other a couple more times before it's all said and done, before the pay-per-view or before Mania at least.
Yeah.
And it's even with a bullshit ending with Rollins getting involved and hitting him with the case, it's still like sort of a bullshit way to have Roman Reigns get his first loss. So, first pinfall loss. So yeah, it was there was better ways to book it than this.
Right. So we get to see Big Show get the win, and that takes us into the next segment where we got to see Curtis Axel come out. And I know there was a big backlash at the Royal Rumble saying, "Well, Curtis Axel."
Wait, don't turn the channel on before we get into this.
Yeah, don't change the channel. Don't turn the channel.
Don't hit stop on your
DVR. There was a big backlash. During the Royal Rumble, saying justice for Curtis Axel. He got screwed. He didn't even get to enter the Royal Rumble. He's still in the Royal Rumble, and I think it was sort of a parody kind of thing. Just because it's like, give us someone that's not Roman Reigns. Oh wait, Curtis Axel, he's still in it. So he came out and cut a promo and saying I deserve this match. I want to face Brock Lesnar, and watch this. I'm gonna point to the sign like they did. Where's the pyro? So
Booker T said a star is born.
Booker T is probably the best thing that's happened for Raw commentary in months.
Booker T.
Maybe in years, man. He's mixed it up. Like, you can say what you want to say about Booker T. He can get a little goofy sometimes. He can get like really into what he's doing. Bottom line, he's trying to put dudes over.
Yes.
You can't fucking hate on that.
Meanwhile, you've got JBL on the other side of the table going, I feel like changing the channel right now. Well, that's great and all, but you're being the voice of a company telling the people who are watching it, I'm not interested in this, and neither should you. You shouldn't be interested in this. Go ahead and change the channel. Find something else that's more entertaining.
You got a good point, Michael Cole and Booker T.
Yeah.
And we're here listening to...
And watching Dolph Ziggler. Mackle. So
Michael Cole.
Yeah, but so Curtis Axel pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and then Dean Ambrose comes out and tosses him over and says, "Well, there, you've been eliminated. Congratulations." Wade Barrett, I've defeated Wade Barrett, so that puts me in line for a title shot, and I want a title shot against you.
I've been to WWE headquarters, and
I took a long walk through the snow and all that. So Ambrose wants Barrett, which I like. They're actually putting a storyline, some kind of focus on the Intercontinental Championship. I like that. I'm happy to actually see it.
Yeah, I loved this. I thought it was sort of a funny way to sort of answer everyone who's saying, well, he was never eliminated. It's sort of a fun, like Ambrose, like, look, I tossed him over. He's done. Plus, I just like, in all honesty, I think this is the best Ambrose has been presented since the Shield breakup. I felt like his character was down to what it should be in this promo. And, I was all in. I like it. I like that someone finds a quote-unquote second-tier title to be desirable. I think that means something for the title.
Absolutely.
I think that's great. I think it's terrible news for Ambrose. This probably means he's not he's not doing anything important anytime soon.
Right.
But you know,
So at least after Mania.
sure, probably longer than that. But yeah, this is the best I've seen Ambrose presented since the Shield breakup, and
It wasn't goofy.
Right.
Like he told, he was funny in saying, "Well, now you've been eliminated."
Right,
you know,
right.
But it wasn't oh god,
yeah.
It wasn't an eye roll, cheesy type of humor. It was okay.
This is how I want to see Ambrose presented.
Yeah. So yeah. So
although like his like light bulb that went off that said that told him he needed to chase the title was whenever he's walking around and saw the pictures of the IC title. What he should have been asking was like, where's my picture for the tag title and for the United States title? Like, why is my picture up for those motherfuckers?
Yeah. I saw a lot of pictures. But yeah, so next up we got to see Ascension going up against Goldust and Stardust, and sort of a replay of what happened on SmackDown, because they did the live SmackDown last week since, Raw had been pretty much canceled. But Ascension ends up getting the victory over Gold and Stardust seemed to be quite upset. They're showing the frustration, showing the tension starting to wear between Gold and Stardust. And later on backstage, they showed Stardust sort of talking to himself, and Goldust came up and was like, hey, what's wrong? Hey, calm down. It's okay. Stardust, Cody. And then Stardust looked him right in the eye and was like, don't you ever call me Cody again, and hissed at him and ran away.
He, during that match or after the match or whatever, he kind of got out of character, huh? You felt like, or he was in that Stardust character.
Right.
But then he was like, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault.
Well, because on SmackDown, Stardust tagged himself in and ended up costing him the match, and Goldust was like, dude, you screwed that up. You need to get your head straight. So now that Goldust got pinned, Stardust went in and was like, I'm not the one who needs to get my head straight. That's you.
Yeah.
So it was sort of just turnabout's fair play kind of stuff, But yeah, so I mean, this is definitely looking like it's leading to the split of Gold and Stardust, with a possible match between one another, which is, I think, what Goldust has wanted for the past couple years at least.
Long overdue
to face his brother, possibly at WrestleMania. What are your guys' thoughts on that possibility? Is it something you'd want to see, or?
Well, the story up until this point has been largely non-existent, other than the rumors of them wanting to break up and do a match at Mania together.
Yeah.
So I'm not emotionally invested in this in the least. Like one loss and now this little skirmish.
Two losses in a row.
Excuse me, 2 losses and these little skirmishes for 2 weeks does not sell me on the feud between these guys. And to be honest, I'm not that high on Stardust. I like Goldust a lot. I think he's phenomenal, but I just have little to no interest in this.
It'll be Goldust versus Stardust at WrestleMania with Dusty Rhodes as special referee.
I mean, I'm just to see Dusty, okay, but I don't know.
That's the only selling point for that?
I like Goldust a lot.
Yeah.
I like Big Dust a lot.
Big Dust. How about you, Tyler? What are your thoughts about a possible Gold and Stardust matchup?
I mean, I would watch it. I would like it, but
not big into it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, but the Ascension at least got the win. Next up, we got to see John Cena as he welcomed back Ryback, Ziggler, and Rowan. And a lot of people were talking about Cena's eye. His right eye, I think, was like swollen or something. Or it looked like he had maybe pink eye or something. I don't know.
It was weird. It wasn't like a black eye or anything.
Yeah.
It was like maybe a poke or maybe, like you said,
busted
pink.
blood vessel or something.
Something weird. It looked fucked up for sure.
Because his eye was definitely, it wasn't white around the edges. It was like a pink or,
right.
reddish. But
I don't know what happened.
There was never an explanation as to what had happened.
Maybe he got hurt on the house show or something.
Yeah, it's possible. So, but anyway, so we welcomed them back, and they were all happy to be back. And,
another bit of the segment where it seems like what the Authority said is directly answering how fans are viewing the product, where she said, what you get. I mean, I've been saying this for weeks up until this point, and she says, Stephanie says in this segment, she's like, what are you so happy about? You guys you didn't fight to get your own jobs back. You relied on Cena and Sting which is exactly my criticism and many other people's criticism of you expect these guys to mean something when you want them to, but you don't give them enough to make them mean anything.
Right. So, and it's just, I don't know. And they set up a match between Ryback and Luke Harper. I thought that match was okay. It was, two big guys slugging it out.
It's solid. I like Harper a lot. I'm sad to see him have to do the job. Like, it feels like they could better protect him. What's so great about Harper is like he can be like a big bully, like dick who's just like sort of bullying small guys around with like power offense if he chooses to. But when he wrestles another big guy or another big enough guy like Ryback, he incorporates like more of the flying stuff into the offense.
He's very agile.
I noticed that.
He does sort of a lot of the flying for the smaller guys too. I wish he would use it. I think it's a good dynamic if he just bullies smaller guys, but then when he's with another big guy, he does more of the flying stuff. I think that would make sense and like makes him more versatile. But he's just so damn good. I hate to see him have to lose for no reason on Raw.
Yeah, but he's got to make the talent they're pushing look better. So, but so Ryback ends up getting the victory. Next matchup, we got to see Cesaro taking on Jimmy Uso with Naomi and Jay Uso and Tyson Kidd and Natalya at ringside. I thought this was a solid matchup as well. And Cesaro ends up getting the victory. So, anything to really take away from it?
I thought there was something.
I like the uppercut that Cesaro gave him, but
I like what's going on. So
yeah, it's good to see Cesaro and Tyson Kidd start to get a little momentum going their way. It looks like they're going to be facing the Usos for the.
I hope they, if not now, soon get the titles.
Yeah, I hope to see that at least some sort of success for these guys. And I mentioned it on Twitter while it was happening, but I don't know about you guys, but the Cesaro theme is starting to grow on me. Like I don't know, it's something about it. It's catching my ear, and I'm kind of getting into it.
Yeah, it still doesn't do anything for me.
No? How about you, Doug?
No. I'm with Aber on this.
Okay.
Quit fucking tripping.
Maybe I am. I don't know. But after that, we got to see a backstage segment with Mizdow and Miz.
I'm just like looking for opportunities to say fuck no.
Yeah. See, now you can say it all you want.
Yeah.
All this fucking shit.
So, So after that, we got to see a stagehand approach Mizdow and ask for his autograph, and Miz, getting frustrated and flustered about it, saying, do you even remember where you were before I came along? Do you remember what you were doing? You're nothing without me, and I'm not going to let this get to your head. You're fired, but I'm going to rehire you as my personal assistant, so get to work on my smoothie. So it looks like that split is finally on its way.
Yeah, I liked Miz here. I thought he was really good in his spot here. I am super happy to not have to sit through any more Mizdow mimicking entire matches.
As much as he wanted to.
Yeah. But, I'm super happy that they're not going to be doing that anymore. And I thought Miz was good here, so yeah.
Yeah. So
I do feel like it's going to be disastrous. I feel like both these guys are back in their same spot after this is over with.
Yeah.
I don't see Mizdow getting the bump from this that the crowd thinks he's going to get.
Like he'll be elevated over the Miz, but then it's like, okay, well now what? Now where do we go? Where do we go from here? Is he still Mizdow, or does he go back to Damian Sandow? So is he going to start mimicking someone else now? How now, brown cow? Sandow?
I hope not.
So, all right. Well, that takes us into the next matchup. Bray Wyatt going up against Dolph Ziggler, and I thought this was a very strong matchup. Ziggler, that's right. Come on, Mackle. These two had really good chemistry. The match was pretty solid. What do you think, Tyler?
I enjoyed it. I am behind Wyatt, even though all the stuff in the past, was hit and miss and all that stuff. And I truly like Wyatt,
And they're booking him quite well here lately because they're hoping that he's going to be going up against The Undertaker for WrestleMania.
The Undertaker.
And he even did have a promo later on that night saying, you were feared by many, but you let them turn you into they turned you soft. Sort of a message towards the Undertaker, saying, I am the new face of fear. I am what's to be feared.
I beat the boogeyman.
Yeah. So, yeah. But Bray Wyatt ends up getting the victory over Dolph Ziggler. Doug, what did you think about the matchup?
I thought it was pretty solid. I didn't like it as much as everyone else seemed to, but I hated the finish. There are instances where no selling works, and this I don't feel like it was one of it. He just sort of popped up, hit his finisher. It wasn't like a great fighting spirit type thing to me, or anything like that. It just
needs to be feared now.
It just came off bad. I mean, I didn't like the finish. The match was solid. Not as good, not great. I know people were jizzing all over this, but it was all right.
No. So so that takes the next matchup.
We gotta let everyone know that the radio show is like a clean show. So now we're just like,
we gotta get out of my system.
Now it's balls to the wall. Y'all did an hour show and had to be squeaky clean. And
we self-edited on the fly. We were very well behaved.
Yes, I'm very proud of you guys. I'm giving y'all some applause on that one. Good stuff.
I'm fucking proud of y'all.
So anyway, the next matchup we got to see Paige going up against Alicia Fox with the Bellas on commentary, and it seems like the Bellas got more screen time than the matchup. And they didn't add anything insightful to the match. They didn't add anything after the match that was really worth talking about. It's just, I'm sorry, but the Bellas just are not doing it. They just, it's not they're bad. They're the heels. They're just bad.
I quite like this. I thought
really.
I thought it was pretty good. It did. I'm not going to disagree that it detracted from the match in a major way. It was the focus of the match. But if we're being real, I don't see how that's any different from any other week or any other competitors.
As much because you don't watch Total Divas.
Maybe that's it. I mean,
it's not even a total. It's not necessarily even a Total Divas thing. It was just sort of like they did the thing that they called it out flat out with the quote unquote anti-divas. They did the same shit talking that all girls like AJ and girls like Paige do when they're on commentary with the Bellas. They just flipped it on them, and it came off well. And I loved how they were so proud of themselves. Where Brie was like, "I loved that, Nikki," and they were like hashtag something, and she was like hashtag. I don't know. I thought it was funny. It definitely took precedence over the match, which is a huge problem.
Yes.
But as far as if you're taking it just for what it's worth, I thought it was pretty.
I can't stand them. They're like it's too overacted sometimes. Wow, look, did you see that move? That wasn't that. If that would have been me, I would have done it so much better.
So I'm not disagreeing in general. I think there are spots where that does come across, but this specific time, I thought it was very natural, and I even felt like they were sort of fired up, they were it was coming from the heart a little bit. I felt like they were sort of fired up.
I just feel like they're trying too hard, and it's like they're trying too hard to overact. I don't know.
I get used to it.
Ugh.
I thought they were fine right here. I don't know.
I'm okay with them not being on TV, but
you love them with all your heart.
I do not. So Paige ends up getting the victory, and then the Bella Twins decided to attack and spray paint Paige to give her some color.
Spray paint. They gave her
spray on tan. Yeah. It's paint, whatever. It was black or something though, wasn't it?
It looked black, yeah.
Yeah, so it was spray paint, just without.
Well, they said it was tan or
tanning spray. Yeah. Whatever it was, they gave her some color, and
maybe she's just so pale that it looked that color when they applied it.
Maybe that's what it was. So the next match we got to see Cena going up against the Miz. Oh God, no. So going up against the Miz, Mizdow ringside, but not allowed to do anything. And a couple times he broke and went to take off his sunglasses and was trying to mimic the Miz, but the Miz was constantly saying, "No, stop doing that. Stop mimicking me. You don't get to do that anymore." But that ended up costing him the match with Sin Cara getting the victory. So anything to really take away from it?
Not really.
Yeah, just look forward to the eventual face turn for Ms. Dow.
Yep.
I don't know if look forward to it is the right term for me.
Well, looking forward, it's going to be happening.
Looking past, maybe.
Yeah. Looking into the future, we will be seeing this. So, yeah. So, earlier on in the night, we got to see Eric Rowan go up to John Cena, thank him for, helping him out, saying, no one's ever really believed in me before.
Sort of like this.
No one's ever really fought for me, despite, me being a big guy. It's sort of like I do have feelings, and I appreciate someone sticking up for me and helping me out whenever I needed help. So
I like this.
Yeah, I thought that part was really cool. It was the next part that I did not like, because everything that he said pertaining to John Cena, Cena did not back up in this situation. He's like, hey, you're going up against Rusev. You got to bring your A game. He's like, okay, but thank you for having my back, essentially, is the message that Rowan was trying to get across to Cena, correct? Kind of.
Thank you for having my back.
Thanks for having my back.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
So he goes out and gets completely destroyed by Rusev, who is John Cena's opponent for Fastlane, and Cena's nowhere to be found.
Well, I feel like there is an argument to be made that it's not like he was getting he was at a disadvantage catching a beatdown from multiple guys. That I feel like you're right to say, Cena, where are you? You should have made the save. Like they're double teaming this kid or whatever. But I feel like if he just got, even if he did get sucker punched or jumped or whatever, I feel like there's an argument to be made that it's just well, he just got his ass whooped by this other dude. What?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be heroic for Cena to break that up. It wouldn't make Rowan look good.
Even if Rusev had the accolade on for much longer than it was needed.
I just think it's murky water. I don't think there is a good call there. I don't think there is a good reason for you to be like, well, fuck you, Cena. If it was a group beatdown, then I think you're right to say fuck you, Cena. But
yeah.
I don't know.
So, and then, Rusev's celebrating in the ring, and the flag is supposed to come down, but for some reason it did not. And the commentary tried to play it off, saying, oh, Cena's got to be behind this.
What?
Oh, that was weird. Oh.
Cena
It'd be weird if Cena was behind it.
Yeah, just a giant "you can't see me" sign or something that comes flying down. But
you can't see this sign.
One thing that they mentioned is that the match between Rusev and Cena is for the United States title, which is huge for the United States title. But what does it say for John Cena?
I don't think it says anything for John Cena.
Yeah. Is this taking a step down to try and let...
No, I think what they're trying to do is add some doubt to the outcome of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if they put the title on the line, then people are going to be like, would they really put the United States title on John Cena? I think that is a bigger question mark than singles match, Rusev versus Cena. I feel like that adds some doubt.
Yeah.
I think that's the purpose, to add some doubt.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And that takes us into the main event of the evening, Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. Winner goes on to face Roman Reigns for the #1 contendership at Fastlane. So, these two had really good chemistry. There was a lot of outside stuff with Big Show and J&J Security and stuff like that, which is to be expected in a Seth Rollins match. But what did you guys think about it?
I thought it was a good match with a shitty finish. I don't like to see Bryan going over off of
foul play.
Yeah, he doesn't need to win because Roman distracted him for a minute or got involved or anything like that. And yes, Roman was coming out after others had already interfered. But you want your good guys to be able to fucking win matches on their own,
Yeah.
There's just a better way to book this. Plus, we saw this finish how many times tonight?
Yeah. I mean, at least towards the end when Bryan got up, he kind of looked around and didn't know what had happened. So...
Yeah, but there's just better ways to go about it, I think.
True. So, but Daniel Bryan does end up getting the victory, so he will go on to face
Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, we can only hope.
I don't know. I don't think
he's got high hopes.
I hope.
They obviously know who they're going with, or they either know who they're going with, or this is them testing the waters. This is them saying like who's going to get a better reaction for a sustained period until we get to Mania, and they're sort of having their cake and eating it too by seeing who, if they can get the crowd behind Roman, and if not, they can still pull it out with Bryan. I don't know if that's the case, or if Bryan's there to sort of get Roman prepared for the main event by having, because Roman's only had like one singles match on pay-per-view.
Against Orton.
And if he's going to have a good singles pay-per-view match, it's going to be with Daniel Bryan. He's not going to have a fucking better match with anybody else besides Daniel Bryan. So Bryan might be there just to give him that really good match he needs to send him into Mania. It might also, like we talked about earlier, you brought up, Daniel, Bryan might just be there to get beaten, to be said, look, he is a better man. He beat me. Stop. Like, it's not his fault. He won fair and square.
Yeah, I didn't. The same damage control he did for that Monday Night Raw last week, where he was like, I didn't lose, or Roman Reigns didn't beat me. I just lost the Royal Rumble.
Sure.
I don't know. I really hope that he wins, even though it sucks to take away from Roman after he won. But
yeah,
if you're not ready, you're not ready, right?
Right.
I mean, they know where their head is. We don't. All we can do is speculate at this point, and I don't think they've done enough to tip their hand in any one direction yet.
We'll have to see, hopefully, how it all plays out at Fastlane coming in a few weeks. So that's pretty much how they closed out Raw. I thought it was, it was a pretty good Raw. But yeah. So I know we normally do Total Divas, but I know, Doug, you were unable to catch it.
Well, what happened was there was their normal runtime is 8 p.m. and I think that they didn't want to run opposite the Super Bowl, so they actually bumped the time down to 6 p.m. and they were playing the movie Ghost in its place. And I didn't know that they had changed the time schedule. So, and when I checked the schedule to see when the replay was, because I don't have it on demand, I think the replay was at like 1 a.m. and I had to work, and I was like, fuck, I'm not staying up that late. So, and we had me and Tyler had sort of talked about possibly doing Total Divas for the radio show now, and sort of swapping content with Ring of Honor, which we actually are going to talk about Ring of Honor TV this week.
Cool.
So do you want to get into that now, Abeer?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do Hot Topics? Do you know?
I don't know. Ring of Honor. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to think. What was the first match? Was
Romantic Touch versus Moose.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not like before this, I would catch it every now and then and stuff. So I know Veda Scott is not with Artie Evans.
No, her and Stokely Hathaway have both turned on Artie to partner up with Moose. They had a match at the past. Like Moose is the guy who he had a match with God, I'm fucking spacing on I keep wanting to call him Marchiarchi so bad. Artie Evans. Like Marchiarchi was on the tip of my tongue for 100 times. But like he had a match, they broke away, Veda turned on him, Stokely Hathaway turned on him.
Oh,
they're with the Moose now.
Another guy that I forgot to tell you that Papa was talking about, he said he liked Moose.
Oh yeah.
There's another guy.
Well, so how familiar are you with Moose? Apparently he was in the NFL.
I don't know. What was his name?
I'm not familiar.
What was his name for?
Oh, starts with an O. Both his first and his last name start with an O, I believe.
I was into the theme song and all of them getting into Moose. Moose. I was doing that. I was like, oh yeah, I can get into that. And Veda Scott on.
It's Quinn Ojanaka. Quinn. His last name is Ojinaka. I don't fucking know. There are teams?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll Google it. Atlanta Falcons.
Moose.
Atlanta Falcons, New England Patriots, St. Louis Rams, Indianapolis Colts.
So he's kind of been all over.
Yeah, he's a journeyman, huh?
Yep.
So he ended up getting the victory, though.
Yeah. Moose. Well, he's sort of a guy who's being put. He's sort of a Roman Reigns of he's not the Roman Reigns, obviously, of Ring of Honor, but he's sort of in that role where he's sort of being pushed past what he can deliver at this point, and he just hasn't had enough experience to, especially not with the Ring of Honor style. Ring of Honor style is a little bit more demanding, and
we got to see him during WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
no,
very fresh on the scene.
Yeah, I mean he had been there for a little bit before that, but he's a guy they're pushing beyond what he's capable of delivering right now.
I liked the things that Romantic Touch did. I forgot what movie he was in, but like, I don't know if it was a bear hug or something else, but he was like wiggling his pelvis and stuff or something like that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Just all the sexy moves that he does.
Yeah, not
throw him off.
Not much of a match. It's just one of those designed to get Moose more over, get Moose to win. So not much there. Moose. I did it with you. I saw that coming.
Didn't like the next thing they were going into the prospect tournament?
No. Well, the next match was actually the Decade against all those young boys. So it was supposed to be Jimmy Jacobs and BJ Whitmer and Adam Page versus all those young boys. So here I have their names because, to be honest with you, I can't remember those guys' names because I don't know. I haven't seen most of the young boy guys, but I guess Whitmer says he's out and he's giving another young boy his chance. So the guy who teamed with Jacobs and Adam Page was Chris LaRusso, who I don't know. The other team was Chris Chambers, Leon St. Giovanni, and Shaheem Ali. So yeah,
I couldn't remember that.
Yeah, again, not much of a match. It's just these sort of getting like the sort of furthering the story of the Decade and getting these young guys.
They cut a promo before that and talk about Roderick Strong. Jimmy Jacobs don't like him.
He was in the Decade.
Yeah, he was in the Decade, and he said it's selfish, right? So he said all that stuff. But since the last time I saw them, I thought things have changed. I don't know if they were being smart aleck, but they were saying we need a new boy in our group and all that stuff. And
well, Adam Page earned their respect and has graduated to a full-time member. He's not the young boy anymore. He's like a member of the Decade, so now they're looking for a new young boy to undertake.
But it seemed weird. One of in the promos, wasn't Jimmy Jacobs was saying something, then BJ Whitmer said something that kind of threw.
Well, there was a little what it was BJ started to grab the mic. He's like, because I'm so giving, I'm gonna let this other dude have my spot and team with you guys. And Jimmy Jacobs sort of rolled his eyes like he was sort of annoyed by it or something. But
it was weird. Then also during the match was that BJ Whitmer kept on going up to.
They've been teasing that shit with him and Carino for the longest time, and they keep acting like they're gonna they keep acting like they're eventually gonna have a pay it off with a Carino match, but between him and Whitmer. But they've been doing this for the longest time.
I thought it was weird because I'm not familiar with that, so I was like, okay.
It's just they keep teasing confrontation between Carino and Whitmer, but they never pay it off with a match or anything. Carino is mostly retired from in ring. He's not. I mean, he had Steen's last match and stuff, but he hasn't wrestled for Ring of Honor since then. In a long time before that either. So,
and then at the end, because they won and what was it? The Decade won, and then they all turned on that
the guy who teamed with them.
Does that mean they're out, or it's like, hey, you're in the group, but we're still
they're just sort of being dickheads? It's I think it's like a pay your dues mentality. Not that they I mean that's the point. I think not that he was ever in, but it was just sort of them being dickheads.
Mm-hmm. Then last time we talked about Ring of Honor, I would always mention how they did the Jay Lethal commercials and stuff like that. Now that was the Briscoes talking about what was it?
Oh, fuck it, something to do with your dick, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, prostate.
Yeah.
Check out this commercial about prostate.
Yeah, just
top prostate.
Mark Briscoe is selling you on some
my gosh.
prostate.
I love it too, though. I know it sounds hokey and cheesy when they all do it, but I actually liked it, to be honest with you. Or Jay Lethal's like, you need is it a back specialist or I forgot, I don't know, or knee specialist, I don't know. But I think it's pretty funny and pretty cool. Then also one thing I noticed too, they actually played a commercial about Chikara.
They have been doing it for the past several weeks.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yep.
Then what? They went to
Top Prospect.
Yeah, that was with Dalton Castle. Right?
Party Peacock.
His gimmick is hilarious. I like that versus Ashley Six. Which I really didn't get into Ashley Six that much.
I haven't seen very much of Ashley. The point of, I guess, if you're not following Ring of Honor, the point of the top prospect tournament is to sort of find some younger, not necessarily younger, but to find some guys that are out on the scene that aren't being used much, and sort of incorporate, like they do like a little mini tournament, not a mini tournament, but an actual tournament, and they're sort of looking for a guy or two to incorporate into the roster. The problem with the top prospect tournament is that they never actually get the top prospects from the independent scene to be in the tournament, which is a little weird. Like, there are guys out there who are not under WWN live contracts. There are guys out there that they could use, that aren't under competing company contracts, that they don't have deals at all, and they don't ever go after those guys. I get the appeal of trying to make a guy more prominent and more synonymous with Ring of Honor, like making them feel like a Ring of Honor guy by making them in Ring of Honor. I get the appeal of that, but their roster is actually sort of on the thin side right now, and so why not go after the best talent at the expense of that? Just like I guess because the industry has sort of opened up recently, and guys have sort of been way more reluctant to sign contracts and be like, no, I'm keeping my options open. We've got guys turning down WWE development deals to work in Japan and to work for Lucha Underground because they can make just as much money. So maybe guys are saying, hey, fuck you, we're not signing your bullshit contracts anymore. And maybe that's why they can't get some of these guys. But I don't know.
I enjoyed Dalton Castle. I really wasn't, like I said, into Nikki Sixx. Ashley Sixx. Sorry,
Ashley Sixx. Yeah, I have not seen much of Ashley Sixx. I am far more familiar with Party Peacock Dalton Castle as smooth sailing Ashley Remington. I've seen much more of him as Ashley Remington than I have seen him as Dalton Castle. And I know you said you like the gimmick, but I don't necessarily know exactly what the gimmick is. It's a little flamboyant. It's a little like
kind of mixed.
Yeah, but it was a sight to be sure. Like, I loved the get up that he wore down or whatever. But yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Then
it wasn't much of a match. I wasn't like super impressed or anything.
Yeah. Then what? That went into the main event.
Yeah.
After that, but they had was there a promo? No. But the main event was Jay Lethal versus ACH versus Matt Sydal
for the television
title. And I remember bits and pieces of it, but I enjoyed it though. But this is actually the first time for me to see Matt Sydal wrestle since he came back, because I haven't been watching Ring of Honor before.
Right.
So, I mean, he was hyped, man. He really was. You could tell that.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, he was on Art of Wrestling with Cabana, and he talked about how he went to wherever the fuck they do ayahuasca at, and he was gonna do ayahuasca, and no, he did do it. It's like this super potent psychedelic that I think it's like mushrooms or like acid on steroids. It's like people who take it get these it's not even illegal in the US, but it's legal in other countries, and you have to get like a shaman or a medicine man of these tribes to administer this for you.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be this deep spiritual trip.
He's gonna jump higher.
People go into this and have revelations about their life and come out altered. It's
whoa.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to describe it other than mushrooms or acid on steroids. It's like a super trip. You hear Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell and all these dudes talk about doing ayahuasca all the time. They go and have these profound or smoke DMT or some fucking crazy head trip shit where you feel it just changes you, man. You get in touch with some part of yourself or a lot of. Let me tell you his story, and then you'll maybe understand what this shit does a little better, how potent this stuff is. He So he goes on this trip after getting released by WWE or whatever, and he's like, man, I'm gonna go. I hear these people talking about doing ayahuasca. I'm gonna go take this fucking ayahuasca. He's like, he said that he went there with the intention to or with knowing the possibility that his wrestling career might be over. Like he was willing to accept that, like he was gonna maybe be okay with walking away from wrestling or find something else about himself. But he said he went down to this thing. They did ayahuasca for like 5 days, and he said he didn't ever get high off of it. And he said he felt like a little bit stoned on like a couple of the days, but he didn't get this profound trip that a lot of people get. And in fact, people around him were having these like crazy trips. He told the story of this one man who was in his group or whatever, and the guy was just like really grief stricken. Like he lost his wife, and he was like a single father, like trying to raise us, that just never got over the death of his wife or whatever. But the guy does fucking ayahuasca, and he has this intense like spiritual trip where like his wife like wades him out into the water, like on a boat, like holding his hand and stuff. And she just tells him like, hey, it's time to let me go or whatever. And like he lets go of his wife and like watches his wife like, you know, float off into the ocean. And then like he comes down off his trip and he's fine. Like he feels like resolution. Like he feels like it's sort of like this shit breaks down like the way you think in your brain, and you can like deal with the shit that you can't deal with, like, you know, like in your everyday life or whatever. He talks about this other lady who had really, really severe like sexual abuse. I don't know if she was like molested or if she was sexually assaulted or raped or something like that, but he said he was next to this lady who did the ayahuasca, and she like relived her experience for hours and hours on this ayahuasca one night. And then she came off of her high, and the next day she was at peace with it. Like it didn't, like she was able to let go, like, this like obviously a traumatic experience that's going to be with you for the rest of her life. Like that was just like a cloud over her life or whatever. And, like she did the ayahuasca and whatever. Well, he says he does it and he's like getting pissed off because he's not getting high. He's not having this like life-changing experiences or anything. And he I guess like the medicine doctor or the shaman, whatever you want to call it, is like, hey, it's cool that people come down here for the ayahuasca, but there's this other thing that I want you to there's this something else that might be for you. And I forget, I've heard of it before, but I can't remember what it's called. And basically he takes some other drug that's like another like powerful like hallucinogen or something, and like I don't know, maybe he didn't ever have anything like severe to overcome or anything, but like he said that he was just like floating on the river, like high on this drug, whatever it's called, and like everything's like super lucid and super like beautiful, and like he kept telling the stories about this bat flying in his tent that he, you know how when you look at something and you can only sort of see it moving around, you see like a blur because it's like flapping or something. He's like, but when it's high, I can see like all the movements the bat was making or whatever. He kept describing it as he got like superpowers. Like he's like everything slows down. And he's like, you know, I can like move faster, like between, you know how like in superhero movies they'll show like special effects, like everything slows down but you're moving at normal speed. That's how he describes his like awakened state. Like he has these extra like powers now. He says it with full seriousness and no bullshit. Go listen to the fucking podcast. I'm telling you, Cabana's podcast. Go listen to fucking Cabana's podcast if you're not already. But so anyway, why don't we start talking about this?
Matt Sydal.
I know, but I don't know why we started talking about it.
You started talking about it.
I know, but I don't know why I started talking about it.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know why I'm fucking talking about this. I know Sydal for some reason. But apparently, like, he said he fell in love with wrestling. Like, he's more in love with wrestling now than he's ever been. And he's watched more wrestling since he's been released from the WWE, since the whole time he was there.
Did he say WWE ever brought him down? No,
he said that he held himself back on the podcast. He said that he didn't believe that he was given opportunities, but he didn't believe in himself enough to make it like a possibility. Like he's like, well, I'm only ever going to be this spot on the card or this good. So he kept that mentality, and he said that's what sort of held him back because he always felt that way or whatever. But now he says he's over all his injuries and he's ready to be like a big player and whatever. And I don't even know how the fuck we got on talking about this. other than Matt Sydal was in the match that we were about to talk on.
Yep. That was about it.
Yeah. It was a solid TV match. It was good, not great. Sydal hit his signature stuff. ACH hit his signature stuff. Jay Lethal retains, sort of setting up. Not setting up, but
well, it'll still be on the line. Between the title will be on the line when he versus Alberto El Patron.
Right, 13th.
He came out there and he ran him off. So and then
You saw last week's show with the Christopher Daniels match.
I saw the last match, the Christopher Daniels and Alberto El Patron.
Yeah, but they're wrestling for the television title at the 13th anniversary. I think it's March 1st on traditional pay-per-view and iPay-per-view. We have plans to see it and to cover it, and we're going to continue to cover TV in the meantime.
Cool. Good stuff. Anything else to add for that?
No, I'm sorry I went on that long thing about ayahuasca. I don't know what. I feel like I had a point when I started, and then I realized that I lost my point along the way somewhere, and I was like, well, I might as well finish this story.
You lost your way, and then you found yourself again.
Yeah.
That's what's most important.
I know, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Time to move on to some of the hot topics. If you did not catch it on the WWE Network, definitely make a plan to. Triple H talking on Stone Cold's podcast on the WWE Network. We covered that on the radio show this week. So if you have the Sports Radio Beaumont app, you can definitely tune into that and hear.
Yeah.
Hear
Does
some
it
of our
cost to
thoughts.
download the app?
No, it's absolutely free.
So guys, if you want to hear our thoughts on that, please go download the app for free and check it out.
Yeah,
we appreciate the support.
Yes. And we'll make sure to make a Facebook and Twitter post whenever the show is going to be airing and all that, so you have all the details. It usually starts, I'm thinking, around 7 p.m., which is the same time Raw comes on whenever it's live. So for those of you who are watching it overseas, you have to make the adjustments for your time whenever Raw comes on, or we might do it the hour before. I'll talk and see.
You mean SmackDown? You said Raw.
Well, Raw comes on at 7 here, and I think that's about the time what we may have on Thursday. I'm not sure of all the details just yet, but I will once I get the time.
But you're saying Raw, but you mean SmackDown for Thursdays?
Well,
right?
We're going to be on Thursdays, yes.
But you keep saying Raw.
Yeah, you keep on saying Raw.
Well, yeah, because Raw comes on at 7. What time does SmackDown come on? Is it 7 to 9 or is it 8 to 10?
7 to 9 locally.
Okay.
I thought you were saying Raw comes on.
I don't know why you're talking about Raw.
Well, because it came on at 7. I forgot what time specifically SmackDown came on.
He's doing this behind your back. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about.
Whatever.
I don't either, Aber. I don't know what the fuck
When I find out the
about.
specific time, I'll make sure to post on the Facebook page. So go and check that out. Download the app.
Is it on demand on the app? Can they?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you have to listen to live.
Yeah, it'll have to be live.
So we hope to. We hope to be on pre-SmackDown. We're sort of looking into that.
Right. Thank you. So yeah, get our thoughts on Triple H, talking about that. And for those of you who have the mobile messaging service for WWE, apparently they're going to be canceling that. So they're advising people to download the WWE
Was that
app.
the one? It's like, hey, guess what? If you subscribe to this, we'll give you some spoilers or something that's coming up. We'll text you this.
Yeah, we'll text you some breaking news that we'll just talk
Triple
about.
H just got a new suit.
Yeah. Well, there was one other thing I think I saw, was New Japan World is offering a month of free.
They're also
service.
offering the month of February free, just like the WWE Network.
Very cool. So there you go. So if you want to check out some New Japan stuff on New Japan World, go and check that out. So time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying, hey there, fellas. I'm finally back after a week or so out and finally caught up to date with all things wrestling. I'm not sure how I feel about Roman Reigns' Rumble win, and I am a fan of Roman, but I do feel that the Philadelphia crowd were rather petty in their treatment of not only Roman, but of the Rumble show post Bryan, who I am also a fan of. Anyways, my birthday is quickly creeping up, March 1st, and it turns out my mom and dad are getting me a refurbished iPhone 5 as my main gift, which I'm thrilled with. But now I'm looking at the various podcasts I could subscribe to on iTunes. Now as the reigning, defending, undisputed, bound for Uli champion, that's my best Heyman voice. Sorry about that. I think loyalty has proven.
You didn't enunciate enough.
The reigning, defending, undisputed, bound for Uli champion.
Nicely
that is
done.
Thomas. Drop it Lawson. Better?
Yeah.
There you go. So I think my loyalty has been proven over what I consider to be the best podcast on the internet, but I wanted to hear what other podcasts would you recommend to me. I think after all these years, you three know me well enough to give me a decent response. Pleased to be back, guys. Take care and have an awesome day.
What?
So, I mean, obviously, Art of Wrestling would be one.
Yeah, well, I'll give you... I generally listen to podcasts that fall into a few different topics. Mostly wrestling, mostly video games, mostly comics. So anything that I give to you would be in those. So I'll try and give you one from each. I will say Art of Wrestling for the wrestling because, well, I mean, come on, man. I just gave you the whole ayahuasca story thing. Like you want to, if you want sort of like in-depth, like life talks from wrestler guys, sometimes about the business, sometimes just about life. Like that's a great, I know a lot of people are sort of over the Cabana thing. He's been at this shit a long time, but for
a little bit longer than us, actually.
Yeah. I mean, for my money, he still delivers every week, and I still listen religiously every Thursday morning when I'm at work. I fucking pop that shit on like every week. So I know some people are sort of quote unquote over him, but I think he delivers the goods still. Let's see, for video games, one of the video game podcasts I listen to is called Indoor Kids. It's on the Nerdist Network. It's with Kumail Nanjiani, who is a comedian and an actor, sort of getting some bigger roles in some steam these days, and his wife, Emily Gordon. And they talk about video games mostly. Every week most weeks they have a guest when it's not just them two. And sometimes they sort of delve into movies, TV stuff, but it's mostly about video games, and it's I enjoy it. I think it comes out on Mondays. Comics, I like War Rocket Ajax. You should listen to that. It's like Chris Sims and Matt Wilson. And they usually talk about, just shit going on in their lives. And they talk about comics that came out that week, and usually an interview with like a comics professional type. And that's a good show too. So I don't know. As far as like a general, like not so much a like a topic based one, I like Harmontown a lot. I haven't listened to Harmontown in a little while, so I don't really know what's going on, but I do like Harmontown a lot. It's Dan Harmon from Community, obviously, and Rick and Morty, his show. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, 3 or 4. I don't know. What do you guys got?
You could also download the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. Really cool stuff. I don't really listen to many podcasts anymore.
Oh, that's all I fucking do.
I used to, but I haven't gotten into it as much anymore. I'm like, since I have an office job, I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, so I'm subscribed to a lot of stuff there. But as far as podcasts go, I just don't listen to them as much as I used to. I used to subscribe to Stuff You Should Know, or it was I don't know if they still do it or not, but they would like talk about really interesting topics. If you're into YouTube, I subscribe to all 3 of the Vsauce channels, and those are some really cool channels. But as far as podcasts, I got nothing.
I don't listen to other podcasts.
I mean, I guess it's just because of how I work outside alone, and so I listen to like 8 hours of podcasts today. In fact, you guys recommend podcasts for me to listen to because I'm always fucking listening to podcasts.
Yeah, Doug's playlist.
Yeah, hit me up.
So
I need something to fill the rotation.
Yeah, so there you go. Thank you very much. And time to go into the final question for the night from 6-Star Criminal, saying, what are the chances of us seeing Reigns versus Ambrose versus Rollins this year for the title? I think it would be cool and would definitely be a much better match than Lesnar-Roman. Plus, they could maybe reconsider forcing him into the main event picture after that. Or they could even just do a double turn at Mania and have Heyman team up with Roman to conspire against Lesnar. It would give Reigns that mouthpiece that he needs to propel himself to stardom. These are just some BTB suggestions. I don't know if this would happen or not sure how they would justify this happening, but I think it's a pretty good idea if they don't want Reigns to get unintentionally booed out of the arena.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
What are your thoughts on the possibility of Reigns versus Ambrose versus Rollins for the title?
Do I think it's a possibility?
Sometime this year.
Maybe later in the year, not at Mania, if that's what you mean.
Well, not for me. What he's saying is have Heyman turn on Lesnar to side with Reigns, which would cause a double switch, Lesnar turning face, Reigns turning heel, that would give Lesnar a mouthpiece, or I'm sorry, that would give Reigns a mouthpiece to work on promo skills and stuff like that.
I don't see that happening.
I think that's quite possible. Just that, as far as the triple threat, I don't know.
And then you can work that in later on.
I think it's entirely possible that Heyman turns on Brock and sides with Roman at some point. I think it's fairly possible.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Oh well, but I
guess it could.
Triple threat. I mean, it's always possible, but
I think it's fairly likely. I think that we could definitely see that. Yeah. I don't know about the triple threat shit, but I think it's totally possible. We've only been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Feels like so much longer.
Yeah. It's because you lost your way, and then you came back, and you're like, oh, I haven't been gone that long at all.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mind
trip.
Quick, Aber, tell us a story. I don't want to shortchange these people. Tell us a story about something real quick.
Oh, okay. So
make up a story. I don't give a fuck.
Make up a story about what?
Once upon a time, there was a little A-bear who got lost in the woods.
Collecting Amiibos.
And he was collecting Amiibos. He went to vast lands like the Best Buy and the Target and the Toys R Us.
Yeah.
What's the most rare Amiibo out right now? And how much is it worth?
Shoot.
Are you
be honest with you?
Are you throwing defects into the mix?
No. Oh yeah.
Standard?
Anything
defects
you want.
are probably going for a lot. Like I don't know what they're all really truly worth, but people are just jacking up the price online because there's a lot.
Give me
I saw one on eBay with the double armed cannon Samus that went for like $2,500.
Which one do you want the most right now? Defect, whatever, not defect.
I want the double arm cannon Samus.
What's the worst thing you would consider doing for that?
If you're being honest with yourself.
If I'm being honest. Shit, I don't know.
Would you steal it from a little kid? If you didn't think that you would get caught?
Yes.
Would you steal it from your own niece if no one would know?
Yes.
Would you just flat out steal it, or would you try and like Indiana Jones replace it?
Oh, Indiana Jones replace it.
You'd take a defect and replace it with a regular?
No, I'll give her something else.
Yeah?
Like, hey, here's this.
And you tell her, get out of my room!
Would you punch an 80-year-old man if you wouldn't get in trouble over it for that? In the face, like real hard though. Like you would have to knock this 80-year-old man out. But no one would. You wouldn't get in trouble. You wouldn't get in trouble, but you would get the Amiibo.
I would say yes, but I would feel bad about that.
That he would feel bad about. Not stealing from his niece, not stealing from
not
his
stealing
child.
from kids, but punch an old man in the face.
All right, let me flip it on you. Would you have sex with an 80-year-old woman for that?
Oh, God.
If Daryl was okay with it.
Yeah. If Daryl came to you
She's
and
like,
said,
babe, you need to get
if
this.
Daryl came to you and said, you better get that Amiibo, honey. You better do some work. You better do some work. You
This
better
is
get
the
down
Amiibo
there.
of your dreams.
I think I would really hesitate because I don't know how to do this. Like, I would really think about this. Like, I can't do this. I can't. I can steal from a kid, but I can't.
You can steal from a
with
child.
I can't have sex with an old lady.
Would you punch the old man?
And I can't punch an old man. I can't punch a kid. I can't punch an old man, but I can steal from people.
Would you? Okay, say instead of punching an old man, if he had a cane that he used to support himself, would you kick that cane out and watch him fall?
That's weak sauce. He would totally do that.
If I had a mask on.
Well, like if you didn't get in trouble for it.
What kind of mask do you want to wear?
Like if in one hand,
Spider-Man.
if in one hand he had the Amiibo and in the other he had his walking cane to support himself, would you kick that cane out from under him so that Amiibo went flying in the air and you caught it?
Catch
and
it.
ran off
I'm like, thanks, bitch. And I'll run away.
Hey
man, listen to this shit.
Gramps.
Listen to this shit. This is not as bad, but when I was younger and I was at GameStop, and when they had like the Super Nintendo cartridges and stuff there, I had them in a bag of off you. Some old man went up to me, slapped them out of my hand, laughed, and walked away.
So it would be justified.
Yes.
So it'd be a payback.
Payback.
You'd be doing a service.
That old fuck. You're taking one for the team, old man, because there was an old guy who slapped some games on my head, so fuck you. Payback's a bitch.
Suck it, old man.
Damn, man. But no, I'm going crazy over those.
And then whenever you turn 80 and you still have your Amiibo, someone's going to come out, kick the cane from under your support.
Like, not today, bitch, because this cane has it'll electrify you because it's a taser.
Got a gun.
It's a gun.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot this young fuck. Wow.
Any other questions for Mr. Abe?
I just felt like we need to give the people their money's worth.
Just a little bit of extra time, extra spending time.
Hey, man, if you want to talk about anything Amiibo, hit me up.
Also, Tyler
it is a bad obsession. I really need to stop.
And also,
it makes me happy.
Really. If you wanna show some additional support, like we said in the beginning of the show, sometime throughout the middle of the show, check out our new show that's going to be featuring. It's still WNS, but it's going to be featured on Sports Radio Beaumont.
Yeah, it's WNS on
Sports Radio Beaumont 1450 15.
You're not saying WNS
10.
podcast.
Yeah, it's not WNS podcast.
Let him get the fucking plug out.
Blah 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 blah.
So it's
say it again, Daniel. Shit.
So it's Sports Radio Beaumont
on
1450 AM, 1510 AM. It's KLVI. Those are the calls. You can go to Sports Radio Beaumont on Facebook. Give them a like. Let them know that just say I'm here for WNS. So that way makes us look good. Download the free app. Sports Radio Beaumont.
Yeah. We're please download the app if you're interested in listening to the show. I mean, obviously, if you don't live in the area, that's your only way to hear the show. But it's going to be on Thursdays. We're hoping it's not going to air. We're not 100% sure yet. We're hoping it's not going to air during SmackDown again.
And maybe if
we're hoping to be the lead-in about 6.
And if I have the spare time, which I know my time is already going to be extremely limited for the month of February, but I may try and take the episode that we put together and at least put it online somewhere for people to be able to go back and re-listen to it. Because I feel like, if they don't get to listen for that 1 hour where we're on out of the entire week, it would be like, well, that kind of sucks. I would have liked to have heard it. So maybe I can set something up.
Oh yeah, you mean because it's not on demand or whatever?
Yeah,
throw it on SoundCloud.
Put it on YouTube or something like that.
Sure.
So we'll have to see.
But if you can,
we would greatly appreciate the support.
The app is free.
Mm-hmm.
Just please,
just go into your smartphone, go in your app search, just search Sports Radio Beaumont, BEAUMONT, Sports Radio Beaumont. That simple. It's completely free. You can listen to it. You can listen to the show.
Even if you can't listen every week, if you could download the app, it still looks good to us.
Yeah.
Looks good for us because we are sort of one of the few that is going to be trying to push the app.
So. Absolutely. So there you go. We certainly appreciate you listening. And if you're listening to us on the Sports Radio app, we would greatly appreciate that as well. So thank you very much. Make sure to submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. You can check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and their Facebook page, WrestlingNewsSource.com. And you can subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Check us out on Stitcher, BeyondPod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Please follow the podcast on Twitter. We're going to try and engage you a little more on there at WNS Podcast. Please follow Daniel at WNS_Daniel. Please tweet at Tyler and see what sort of fucked up things he would do for Amiibos at Tyler.
I should get back on just to hear all the questions.
There you go.
Wow, what'd you?
Yeah, I did that. I reeled it right in.
Use a hashtag #AskAbear or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you do for Amiibo?
There you go. So for the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
Fucking 80-year-old lady.
God damn. I'm Tyler Abear.
Would you ride a tricycle through a ring of fire?
That's not even fast enough. I'm gonna get burnt.
I mean, you'd have to pedal pretty quickly. But would you do?
What kind of Amiibo are we talking here?
We will catch you all next week.